guys, check this out. This is my 1997 C-1500 OBS Silverado, and right now what I'm doing is getting it prepped for the show at C-10 Fall Revival. Got a little bit of work to do. As you can tell, this side of the truck has not been paint corrected yet. A couple years ago I got around to starting on it, and it's been a project that I've never finished ever since. So I got the passenger side, as you can tell there in the hood, literally half the truck is done, the other half is not. So that's what I got to finish up doing. This truck was heavily baked with water spots, as you can tell right here going down this side, just absolutely hammered with water spots, which is really clouding up this paint a lot. So what I'm going to end up doing is actually wet sand out and paint correct the whole entire truck, which is going to be the project for today. Here's your little up close look at what the paint surface is looking like. Again, as you can see, just absolutely hammered with the deep water spots that I've tried when I started on this truck, honestly, about a couple years ago now, when I first started on paint correcting it, you know, tried to go through and, you know, compound it and everything like that. And these water spots are so baked in there that the only way to do it is going to be to wet sand it out. So I'm gonna start with 3000 on the DA and kind of level down this clear coat, level down those imperfections, and get this truck looking good again. So as you can see there, the paint is super just contaminated. Lots of dirt that's embedded into that clear coat, which is coming off through wet sanding. And what I'm doing is flattening out this clear coat that has all these imperfections in it, and then I'll go back through and paint correct it and buff it. So let me get hammered on this, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so here it is a few days later. The last thing you saw me do was wet sand out this whole bedside with 3000 grit sandpaper. What I didn't get a chance to video is going through with the rotary buffer and getting all those sanding marks out, and then following that up with a microfiber cutting pad on the dual action. Again, not trying to get the paint perfect today, just trying to get it better to prep it for the show. This has been a long time project of mine, and it's going to take a little bit more finesse to kind of get everything you know, dialed in 100%. But for now, what I'm just doing is going through and trying to remove all those wire spots, kind of sand it down the paint to bring all that gloss and clarity that you can see, you know, back into the paintwork. So what I've done here is I've went through and wet sanded again 3000 DA and kind of going around, you know, by hand in some of the tighter areas. And what I'm about to do is set the camera up, and I'm going to you know, kind of buff this down with the rotary. That way you guys can see kind of what everything's going to look like as it turns out. But as you can tell here, again, you know, this is kind of what I'm not going to say the final product is, but this is going to be, you know, probably about 85% right here. And I'll go through and kind of dial down the rest, maybe at a later date. But for now, to get ready for C-10 Fall Revival, this is what we're looking at here. So again, wet sand at this door. This is the again, almost finished product of the bedside, and I'm super happy with it. So what we're doing right here is we're going to go through with some mug wires, 105 on the rotary to cut down all these sanding marks, and then I'll go through and follow that up with the dual action on a microfiber cutting pad to get down some of the haze and everything from the sanding from the rotary. All right, so here's where we're at. We've got the door and the front fender all wet sanded down and rotoried out, as well as the top part of the hood. That other side had already been done. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and break out the dual action, finish everything down, refine it down, get a good smooth finish on it, get out some of these buffer trails and the rest of the sanding marks and everything, and go on and make this paint almost perfect. Probably about, like I said, 75, 85. All right, so what I'm going to be doing is using a combination here of classic cut and classic polish to kind of kill two birds with one stone and get this paint looking right with as least steps as possible. Here it is. So this is pretty much the finished product. Everything except a little closer towards the door line. I gotta finish up all of that, but here is what it looks like. Still haven't done the fender yet, but you can tell the difference between the fender and the door.